Narcissists are known for being extremely vain and caring only about themselves. The world revolves around them, or so they think. These people have an inflated sense of their own importance, a deep need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. Behind this mask, however, is a fragile sense of self-worth, and these individuals are incapable of criticism. Deep down, these people are very fragile and have extremely low self-esteem. In today's video, we will explain to you 10 things that narcissists are afraid of. If you like our videos, feel free to support us with a thumbs up, subscribe to Psychology in Mind, activate the little bell, and get ready for the videos we upload for you every day. Number 1. Rejection. A narcissist usually puts on a mask so that he or she will be accepted and liked by others. They are always trying to get validation from others. If a person distances himself or herself from their inner circle, then try with all their might to win the person back for themselves. However, if this does not work, they will try to slander the persons or even undertake activities and efforts that could harm this person, at least their reputation. The reason for such behavior is that behind the narcissist's false attitude is a scared little soul who is afraid that they are not good enough. However, you will never hear such a thing from the mouths of narcissists. Number 2. Shame. Shame is uncomfortable for everyone, but for the narcissist, it is absolutely horrible. The main reason is that shame could negatively affect his reputation and give him low status in his social circle. Narcissists live to be admired, and their pride is of great importance to them. Number 3. Remorse. Another important characteristic of narcissism is the inability to express remorse. It is not that they cannot feel remorse, but just that they do not show remorse. This denial indicates a very deep fear. It is a denial of remorse. But why do narcissists fear remorse? Quite simply, remorse is a sign of weakness for them. Remorse shows vulnerability and emotional weakness in their minds. Remorse, even in its lowest form, is the acceptance that they have made a mistake, and for proud and haughty narcissists, this behavior is unthinkable. Remorse is also a way to apologize, and this is also unthinkable for self-aggrandizing people with narcissistic traits. However, behind the outward appearance, many narcissists suffer from this behavior. Number 4. Feeling gratitude. Another emotion that narcissists reject and fear is gratitude. Gratitude, like regret, is another emotion that narcissistic people perceive as a sign of weakness. For the narcissist, gratitude is, in a sense, giving other people power over themselves. It is the acceptance that they owe someone something. It also forces them to come to terms with the fact that they may have needed someone else's help. The idea that someone else gave them something they needed not only puts them on the same level as others, but also makes them feel weaker or lower on the social ladder. Number 5. Admitting mistakes and failure. Narcissists fear failure. They simply cannot accept that there is someone out there who is better than them. If a narcissist cannot achieve his or her goal, she or he will always blame someone else, even when it is obvious that it is entirely his or her fault. They usually blame their closest associates and friends for preventing them from succeeding. This is actually the only way to feel a little better about their failure. Number 6. Lies exposed. Narcissists are known to exaggerate or lie about certain things to make themselves seem more important or impressive. They also do this to make themselves feel better about their own position in society. One of the greatest fears of narcissists is that these lies and exaggerations will eventually be exposed and come to light. Then the world will be shown how weak and insecure they really are. The entire world of a narcissist comes crashing down. These fears begin as soon as a narcissist starts lying. From that moment on, they become incredibly paranoid about someone one day exposing those lies. Number 7. Rejection. Narcissists are afraid of rejection. To reject narcissists is to reject the false sense they have so carefully constructed to impress them. Rejecting this false self is incomprehensible to them and equally unsettling. Self-image and self-assessment are shaped only by the opinions of others. As soon as narcissists experience rejection, he or she must face his or her own emptiness. Number 8. Public humiliation. Public humiliation causes narcissists to lose their position and creates a lot of psychological distress and cognitive dissonance. Narcissists are unable to tolerate failure of any kind, and public humiliation is considered the worst kind of failure that can occur. The ego of narcissists is an extremely fragile thing. If they feel they are being laughed at or losing the respect of others, their ego suffers tremendously, and the ego is the only protection they have from the world. Once this integrity is violated or undermined, narcissists often react irritably and inappropriately. Unfortunately, narcissists' egos are already too inflated. Their own self-assessment of their worth confirms to them that they are already significantly evolved and accomplished. Number 9. Accepting the actual situation. The worst fear of narcissists is that his or her life will be exposed and debunked by others. Narcissists are all too aware of their imperfections, but only on an unconscious level. The way they deal with this is by projecting their own imperfections onto others. They may blame others for doing things that they themselves have done. They just try anything to keep up the house of cards. Number 10. Being ignored. Being ignored is also very humiliating for narcissists. As a result, narcissists suffer tremendously because they can't impress you. Without attention, it feels to narcissists like their life energy is being taken away. Today's conclusion. Narcissists always try to put themselves in the best light to be admired by others. But all this is just a facade behind which fearful and insecure characters with negative self-image hide. As the fears just listed show, even small things upset narcissists. Things that make them look bad in public hit them especially hard. However, it is worse when someone, especially someone close to them, exposes the whole structure of lies. They then react impulsively, angrily, and even become abusive to friends just to keep up the pretense of themselves. That's it for today.
Thanks for watching. Did you find this information helpful? Do you have experience with it? We would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts. For more resources about mental health, self-improvement, and psychology, visit our website. You'll find the link in the video description where you can also connect with us on social media and sign up for our email list. Take care of yourself and have a beautiful day.